Welcome to Toxicology, brought to you by Recovery Unplugged, the place where we talk about all things substance abuse, recovery, and mental health, with guests offering varying perspectives and viewpoints. Hosts Joseph Gorordo and Jason Cabello share about their addiction and recovery and other serious subject matter through lighthearted yet candid conversation.
Shoot. Ha! I won. You do it.
Welcome to another episode of Toxicology. You always say the latest and greatest?
Yeah.
Is that what you say?
I say the truth.
Oh, well, that's true. Okay, so let's just stick with the truth then. You know, because that's when you try to.
Goddamn. Welcome to Toxicology.
Thank you.
The
It worked.
latest and greatest podcast in the history of the known universe, the internet, and beyond, on addiction, recovery, and mental health. I am your host, Joseph Gorordo, and my co-host with the most, Mr. Jason Cabello.
That's me.
That's you.
It is me.
That is you. Funny story I forgot to tell you. We went on a cruise a while back, and we were playing like this trivia contest, and it was tied at the end of the game. And the tiebreaker was rock, paper, scissors. And I lost because I always lose. And I feel like if we went back and made a compilation of every rock, paper, scissors, you probably have like an 800 win rate.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll have to check the tapes on that.
Yeah, maybe
Roll the
that-
clip.
Be a good TikTok.
Oh, I don't have it ready. Okay.
So, folks, we're not here to talk about rock, paper, scissors. We had an amazing guest lined up for this week, and unfortunately, this person had to postpone. So
Reschedule. It's all right.
reschedule. Yeah. So you get another special bonus edition of Oops, All Hosts.
It's been a while since
Yeah.
we've been in the hot seats.
You know,
together.
I was very tempted to say like, hey, you know what? No podcast is good. I got stuff to do. And then I was like, I haven't seen Jason in a minute.
It has been a minute, and
Yeah.
it's probably going to be a minute again after today.
Yeah. That's shitty.
Yeah, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's all good, you know. Busy.
Yeah.
Both of us, I know. We got big things going on. Big changes at Recovery Unplugged.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
We got a new logo.
Wait, hold on. We have a new logo.
We have a
That's
new
how you're supposed to
logo.
say it. We have a new logo.
It looks like a guitar pick.
It does look like a guitar pick. It actually is a guitar pick. So we have the new logo. We are no longer known as what we used to be known as. Now we are known as Recovery Unplugged Behavioral
Health.
Telehealth.
No, just health.
I think it's telehealth. I'm going to look off camera here to our content manager and give me a thumbs up if it's telehealth. Give me a thumbs down.
Oh,
This
she's
doesn't
making
air.
a
This
face.
doesn't air until after Friday. So, okay,
Okay, there's a Recovery Unplugged
We don't know,
behavioral something.
they're gonna have to check the tape. So
Check the tapes.
we are Recovery Unplugged Behavioral Health. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah,
It sounds good.
Yeah. And listener, if this is your first episode and you're super confused as to why we're talking about Recovery Unplugged, they are our title sponsor, employer of both myself and Mr. Jason Cabello.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here without Recovery Unplugged.
Jason, very literally,
Would not be here without Recovery
would not be
Unplugged.
sober, would not. Well, maybe you'd be sober, but you wouldn't be here.
Might be sober, but I wouldn't be clean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just kidding. No, Recovery Unplugged, man. I mean, saved my life. Went to treatment 20 times, 19 times to other treatment facilities. One and done for recovery.
One and done.
One and done.
That
Recovery
one hitter
Unplugged.
quitter.
It saved my life. It was absolutely the best thing that could ever happen to me. And
But I mean, here's what I always tell people is like, no treatment center anywhere just fixes people, right? What we do in treatment is provide an environment and tools and education and support and all these things for hopefully the individual who's suffering to take advantage of those things and help themselves. Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to you have to put the work in once you get there. It's
Yeah.
not like a magic wand.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, I went to treatment a bunch. I'm super grateful for the place that I finally got sober at, and love that facility and the people that were there. But you know as well as I do that, like, the work for recovery comes from you. Like, you know, it's kind of a, you can lead a horse to water kind of thing. Like, ultimately you got to do it.
And what is it about Recovery Unplugged that helped me change
like
things?
what?
Honestly, like you said, it was a place that just kind of let me make some decisions for myself, whereas other treatment centers that I have been familiarized with, either that I've gone to or know people that have gone to, like, you get some stuff kind of shoved down your throat a little bit.
Yeah.
Some like you have to do some like 12-step stuff. You have to do some big book stuff. And it's like, I didn't get any of that at Recovery Unplugged. I got the option to do so.
Yeah.
And, you know, they even let my sponsor come, and like once I was allowed, you know, once I was there for a couple of weeks, my sponsor got to come and get to do some stuff work together, but it was my choice. It wasn't like you have to do this or anything like that. So I was given the freedom, given the space to work on myself. And, you know, like I often say, I don't know exactly what it was. There wasn't some moment 2 weeks in or whatever where it's like I saw like this shaft of light and I knew things were going to be okay. And you know, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of shitty days, a lot of days that I didn't even think I could do it. And then, but they added up.
Well, I think Recovery Unplugged is very, like, in that same vein. We're very come as you are.
Correct.
Right? Like, you know, I went to a music festival this past weekend, ACL, right? And one of my favorite things about music festivals is like looking around at the crowd and being like, there's a 60-year-old lesbian couple, and there's you know, some teenagers, and there's, you know, a metalhead, and there's you know, and just people of all shapes and sizes and walks of lives, and we're all in the same place. And, you know, connecting through music with each other, like having that shared experience. And even like we saw this one artist, Noah Khan, who he doesn't drink anymore, and he talks about mental health and stuff. I don't know if he considers himself to be like a person in recovery, but like his lyrics are super mental healthy, and like to stand in a field and look around at, you know, I don't know, 30, 40,000 people who are all singing these very mental health lyrics. And I'm like, you know, like, you're not alone. And look at this. And I think RU's a lot like that, right? Like, you get this room of people who all look different and might not fit the mold of other treatment centers.
Right.
And everybody's just accepted.
Yeah. And, you know, going to music festivals in Austin too, Austin is a pretty weird place, and in a great way.
Yeah.
You know, you get the 80-year-old cosmic cowboys over there smoking weed in the corner, and then a bunch of like 18-year-old straight edge kids somewhere, you know, on the other side.
You got people in rave outfits, you got guys in Speedos, you got small children running around. Like, it's
it's a pretty cool place to but yeah, that's the other thing. Recovery Unplugged, no matter which facility you go to, each one has a little bit of its own kind of, you know, zest, vibe.
Joie de vivre.
I was going to say flavor. Thank you for saying vibe. Yeah, you know, in Nashville, you get a little bit more of
a little twang.
Yeah, a little bit of a, you know, it's very Nashville, very Tennessee. And then Florida, just like Florida, you get a lot of people up and down the East Coast, a lot of New Yorkers,
a lot of
New
different
Jersey
accents,
people.
Yeah. A lot of different accents.
I think Austin probably you get more music based people, and then Northern Virginia, you're getting a little bit more of like a button up.
Well, crowd. Austin is for square pegs that have been tried to fit into round holes their whole lives.
Yeah,
you know, I like being able to be that place for people. So you went to Recovery Unplugged. Your life sucked. My life sucked. You did some big time. You did some work on yourself.
I did.
Continue to do work on yourself.
Continue.
But life today, how is it?
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah. You just bought a house?
Yeah.
Have you ever bought a house before?
No, when I got clean 42 years old, I couldn't even go and rent a place on my own. I had to find someone that had a room for rent.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't rent my own apartment.
And you just got a bank loan for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes. and it's a pretty cool house, you know. It's very like mid-century, so you know, my partner Gabby loves that stuff.
You bought that house with your partner Gabby, who you've been with
coming up on like 6.5 years.
6.5 years.
Yeah, I'm able to be actually a reliable, dependable person in a relationship.
Someone can not only tolerate but love you for 6.5 years.
Can you blame him?
Well, I can't blame them today.
Right.
But prior to,
even in the beginning, you know, like we talk about it, like we were both we were both still learning how to be adults at the same time. So I'm glad that she tolerated me through a lot of it, because I didn't know how to treat people. I didn't know how to treat myself. So it's awesome being able to grow and learn about myself with somebody and experience the things that we've experienced in this crazy ride, which we like to call life.
Yeah. There's no.
But so, you know, when I look at like the 30-year mortgage, I'm like, so Gabby's going to be about a couple years older than I am now, and I'm going to be dead when the 30 years.
No, people are living longer and longer. That's one of the biggest issues with the global population right now.
Really?
Yeah. There's too many.
All right. I guess I do take care of myself pretty well, so I get.
No, there's. I don't know what I was listening to, some podcast, and they were talking about how like hitting a century, being a centenarian, is going to be pretty common in the next couple decades. We have the technology.
We do have the technology.
We can make you faster.
It'll be like, did you ever see, what was it, Prometheus?
Yeah.
With the super old, Wayland, the super old guy? That's going to be me.
I didn't understand that movie at all.
Really? That was one of my favorite alien movies. But anyway, I know it's not like the most popular one, but I
was
like
that weird robot guy that was like really, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender. He's a good robot. Handsome robot.
Yeah.
Love a robot. Handsome robots are great.
Someday you can have your very own handsome robot to take care of you when you're 102.
I love sad songs about sad robots.
Really?
Yeah.
How many sad songs about sad robots are there, really?
Favorite one is Jetty 3 by Granddaddy.
Nope.
No?
Total blank.
Okay, I'll have to send it to you. It's the best song about a robot who it's all up in his feelings.
The only thing I can think about is Radiohead has that album Paranoid Android, which is named after the robot from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Right.
But I don't know that any of the songs are actually about robots.
I when I wake up in the morning and I don't want to get up, there's two things that go in my head. Like, so I think I've shared this with you before, that when I was in treatment, you know how they'd play the pump up videos, and they'd always play like that one guy. He sounds like an army like drill sergeant or something, and he's like, "Do you want results? Oh wait, no. Do you like results or do you like sleep?"
I think that's Eric Thomas.
So that plays in my head all the time, and then the Radiohead, fitter, happier, more productive. I like the two of those things. So that rents a lot of space in my head.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Fitter, happier, more productive.
Yeah. Better, happier, more. See, I struggle with the more productive.
Yeah.
Because like I have an unhealthy coping mechanism of like staying busy all the time.
Okay.
Which I overcommit because I like to stay busy because then I don't have to think. Or especially think about feelings. Feelings, ugh. But then I eventually hit a breaking point where I'm just like overwhelmed, almost like a sensory overload of like the things that must get done. And then I like have the urge to like, I just want to like hide under the blanket, put my phone on do not disturb or airplane mode or some shit.
Is it hard as a parent? Because I don't have any children. Yeah. You have 3. Is it hard dealing with your own feelings when you have to put at least 3 others three other humans' feelings in front of yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or is it easy to kind of disassociate and just have that be front of your mind until?
So what I've found is that it's hard to show a broad range of emotion or give yourself space, at least for me, to do a broad range of emotions with the kids, right? Like I either got to be like super coach, like, come on, we got to go. We're going to get our shoes on and we're going to have a great day, and like kind of doing that. And then it stays that way until frustration kicks in.
Okay.
And then it's like, why didn't you do the dishes? Why is there pudding in your hair? You know?
If I had $1 for every time somebody asked me that.
Yes. You know, who moved my wallet? Who, you know, and then it's,
I have a feeling like with you, you know, dealing with your kids' emotions all day, that if like Ella looked at you and just was like, Daddy, how are you feeling? That you would just break down and
freak out.
Yeah.
Freak out. Yeah. Although I'll tell you, the other day, you know, I told you we were at ACL all weekend, right? And
you brought the kids.
We brought the kids on Friday, and they all had a great time. But so, you know, when you're doing a music festival, it's like you're there all day. So the house was a little neglected yesterday, and I was like, I gotta clean, you know. So I was like doing the dishes and stuff, and I was like, come play with me. I'm like, let me just finish the dishes. And I was like, I have to do the dishes. And she said, you're always working. And I was like, I mean, kind of. You're not super wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So I noticed the thing about kids and having kids. I went to Disney.
Yes.
I don't think we've talked since I've gone to Disney.
Disney's just the best.
Disney's a lot of fun, especially with no kids. But I was noticing I saw so many meltdowns with kids and their parents trying to deal with it. And, you know, me and Gabby were kind of looking around and just seeing how many meltdowns, how many miserable kids you have walking back and forth. And Disney for children is not unlike crack.
Yeah.
For, you know, people, for those who smoke crack. And I feel, you know, a lot of our audience might be
Disney
familiar with
crack. Same.
Well, no, listen, because what was the funnest part about getting crack? The anticipation, going to get the crack. Once I would, you know, smoke, shoot crack, whatever. Going to get the crack was a lot of fun. But then once I would get it, it was like immediate, like panic, pace around. So when I would see these kids, you know, it seems like the best part about going to Disney is like the anticipation.
Oh shit, we're going to Disney.
And then you walk in, and then
you're at the Orlando airport taking that little tram.
And there's probably, with the lines and everything, say you don't have the fast pass, right? There's probably, for a whole weekend, you probably have like 45 minutes of real joy when you're on the ride, when you're next up in line to get the ride. And then it's just like fighting and I don't want to go there. I want to go here. But then once you leave, all you remember is like the good times and you want to go back immediately.
Well, you know, so I was a little bummed about ACL this year, right? Because, you know, like, you know, my 13-year-old, my kids have always come, right? But they would come and stay till like 4. And then it was like, okay, you're going to go and we're going to stay. And this year, like my 13-year-old and my 11-year-old wanted to stay for Kendrick Lamar. And we had a friend, a family friend's kid who's 17 that he was with us all weekend too, right? And, and we, you know, Friday was great. Saturday, I started to get a little annoyed because I was having to go to like Lil Yachty and Big X the Plug.
I love Lil Yachty.
And certain, you know,
Lil Yachty.
And like, I wasn't getting to do what I wanted to do, right? I was taking care of other people, and I started to kind of build this thing in my head of like, this year sucks, like this. And then I looked at, on my Facebook, it was like all the memories from past ACLs were popping up, right? And I was like, oh man. And I was like, you know what? No, like this picture was taken during a good moment, and there was probably times during those years where I was like, it's too fucking hot. This kid's crying. They want another $20 snack from the concession. You know what I mean?
Euphoric recall.
Yes. And so I think it's weird, like the way our brains work. I don't know if normal people are like this, but I know, I feel like most addicts are like this, right? The past is viewed through rose-colored glasses. You know, whether it's like reliving old druggy stories, old experiences, whatever. But then like the future, I don't know, for me it's very like impending doom.
Really? You're one of those?
Yeah. Just like everything could come crashing down at any moment.
Right.
But then we're still left with like, today to play with, which I can choose. Right. I told you, I was driving here in my head, focusing on a lot of negative things. And I was like, wait. Like you can just focus on like, on different things, on things that you're grateful for. And so we have that, I don't know.
Yeah. I have ongoing arguments with people that have no idea that we're arguing. Like, cause it's all in my fucking head. Like people I haven't seen or talked to in like a long time. I'm still like, you know what I wish I would have said at this point? And then I visualize me going and being like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
Like I wish I did.
What's the oldest argument you've still got going? Like from the 90s?
No, nothing like that. Probably just I'd say most of it has to do with like work stuff.
Yeah.
And from since I've been at Recovery Unplugged. But I try to bury hatchets now. But it's just like it's not
like
even
burying hatchets.
It's not even big stuff either. It's just like the little stuff. Like I will not make that edit. I will not, just stupid shit. Like, and that's my head. Like I'm in the shower for like 30 minutes, just reenacting me going up and being like, no. And I said yes.
Let me tell you what I think.
Yeah, you mother.
So you just like passively resist by
Yeah, Yeah, my problems today are pretty small. If I could go back to like those are my biggest.
Yeah. So let me ask you, when you find yourself in a negative space, what are your go-to like gratitude things?
Just looking like I said, like where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Just looking around.
Yeah.
Like, and it's cool because every now and then like we'll get overwhelmed with stuff at the new house and. We're still back and forth with the old house and found out that we have to pay rent because we broke a lease to buy our house. So like we have to pay rent until somebody moves in there.
Yeah.
But our old landlord is super cool. Yeah. And we could have done the dick thing and just been like, well, no, we broke the lease. So we're out. But, he's a cool guy. I'm not going to do that to him. That we signed the lease and we broke it. So now I got to.
You give somebody your word.
Yeah. And I got to take care of that. And, hopefully it'll. Things will get better, but just to look at why I'm overwhelmed today. Why am I overwhelmed today? Because I have to unpack. I have to
unpack all the cool things that you own,
all my cool shit in my new cool house, and like put it up on the walls, and do this, and do it before I leave to go on tour to do the Kiss documentary.
Yeah, you're going to travel for free with a famous rock band while getting paid.
So it's like these are the things that stress me out today. Yeah. And it's like these are things that I never in a million years, like I couldn't have, because I was big on keeping up appearances when I was using. Yeah. And I wanted people to think I was doing cool things.
And you're trying to keep up Miami.
Miami. Yeah. Well, it's a pretty, it's a pretty, what's the word?
Superficial?
It's very superficial, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. It's a pretty superficial place. You will see.
Everybody's pretty.
You will see more yachts, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, stuff like that in Fort Lauderdale and down to Miami than.
Dude, I was in Fort Lauderdale. Look, and I complain about my life, right? I was in Fort Lauderdale at a restaurant on the Intercoastal, looking at these yachts go by, right? And, someone else was paying, so I was eating free food.
And your hand towels were lukewarm?
No, well, we were looking at these yachts, and I was asking about, like, how much because I know how much, like, a little, like, boat that people keep at the lake costs, right? And I was like, well, how much is it? And they're like, oh, that yacht right there is probably $250,000 a year just maintenance. And I'm like, what? And then I get all resentful and I'm like, people should not have $250,000 to spend on rent when there's like on the maintenance of their yacht.
Yeah.
When there's like, suffering in the world. And sorry, I'm not going to get all political.
Well, no, it's it's a lot of relativity there and a lot of things that but you see a lot of that in South Florida. But yes, I was keeping up appearances in a place that is very superficial, and I wanted people to think that I was doing okay. It's pretty funny. I was thinking about this the other day because it's the first time that I had heard it was in a 12-step meeting, like that it's no business what somebody else thinks about me. And I was like, what? That's insane.
Oh, it's none of my business. Yeah.
It's none of my business what everybody else thinks about me. And I was like, that's my only business.
Yeah.
Is like, I'm very concerned
I think about
with
it so much.
what everybody thinks about me. And I want them to think this about me.
Yeah.
And letting that go is kind of hard.
I mean, I still do it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, honestly, like it's I really do care about what other people think about me. And
I've been thinking about that guest we had a while back, Jamie Sharla, and we had that whole conversation about like what's enough, like what's perfect, like what's
right,
like, is enough perfect, and is that possible and all? And like I think, I think about that a lot. Like, what do I want people to think about me? It's like, oh, that I like got it all.
Yeah,
like not like have it all. Like whatever the problem is, I got it. I got you. It's exhausting, man.
I think I'm scared to know what people actually really think about me, to be honest.
I love you so much.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Like I have like not a negative thought about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not one.
Yeah, I think very highly of you, but I'm talking like we're kind of a closed group here. So it's like cuz there's a lot
I have one. You cut it close on the time frames.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today, 10:45 podcasts.
Well, I got here at like 10:43.
Fucking 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
So ADHD. Let me tell you a little something about my ADHD. So I could have a project that is due Friday at 12 p.m., right? So I will, in my head, I'll think about all the things that I have to do it. And then I will lay down and just be like, okay, so I have to do this and I'll have to do that. And come like 11 o'clock, an hour before it's due, I'll get going on it. And then I'll get a call and be like, oh, it's not due until Monday. And then I could go back and lay down for 3 more days.
What's the thing about like, if you give somebody an hour for a project, it'll take an hour. And if you give somebody a week for a project, it'll take a week.
Yeah. I very much agree with that.
Side note, we should record a one-off hip hop song. And you should wear this outfit. And the first line of it needs to be, let me tell you a little something about ADHD.
Okay. Is that
yeah, I mean, you just said that line, and I was like, that's a banger right there.
Maybe we could have somebody remix it. If anybody out there in podcast land does a remix, just
like the hide your kids, hide your wife kind of.
Yeah. What's your favorite meme remix, video remix?
Obama singing "I Can't Feel My Face."
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
However,
but I love it. But I love it.
Whenever this video, both the remix and the original, make me very happy. The apparently kid. Apparently.
Oh, and such.
No, the kid who they like the news interviewed him.
Yeah. He's like a little chubby kid. He's like an apparently.
Yeah. Apparently,
he speaks like a grown up.
I've never been on the news before.
Yeah, I've never seen the remix song of that.
No, okay, we'll have to put it in the clip here. The kid's great. Yeah. Apparently, you get dizzy. All you do is get dizzy.
And he's like an old, like Jewish, he's like Jerry Stiller.
Yeah, that's exactly what he sounds like. And then you see, my grandfather gives me the remote after the Powerball, like W.C. Fields.
It's weird how like we just have these like things that are in our collective consciousness. Like everybody knows like I like turtles.
Yeah.
Or there's one where like there's an interview guy, I think it's like around the 4th of July, and he's standing outside of a fireworks stand and he goes up to a kid, he's like, hey, so what are you excited? And he's like, wouldn't you like to know weather, boy?
Yeah. Yeah, Gabby and I can speak back and forth to each other on just stupid little video clips. Have you seen we're just gonna go off on tangents here.
Sure.
I forget the guy's name, but he does all these different characters in different TikTok filters, and his new song. It's like sitting is the opposite of standing.
I don't know
Okay.
this.
We'll have to put it in here. But
I think we're on different TikToks.
yeah, I'm not on TikTok at all. So everything that comes to me is like, I'm still on Vine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, Vine doesn't exist. Now there are TikToks. There are nostalgic TikToks about old Vines.
Yeah, nostalgia is a huge fucking thing. Like we were talking about earlier. Like there's podcasts, there's TV channels dedicated towards just nostalgia. It's safe. Yeah, you get to go back and
predictable. You know, it's not going to change. It's the same thing.
Like
Jinkos are back, bro. I'm getting ads for Jinkos on my Facebook. Yeah,
those should have stayed gone. Yeah. So I had a personal thing. So it was like being a skater. We used to have to go and have to get like the extra large, like find the biggest pants that you could find. And you had to go and you couldn't order them online. We didn't have online. So we'd have to go and just find the biggest pants that they made and then just cut them off. And that was what like the skaters wore. And then a couple of brands like Fucked, spelled F-U-C-T, New Deal, Blind, they started making some big jeans. And then
Blind had the little character dudes.
Yeah, a little later on they did. But yeah, Blind jeans and stuff. And then the Jenkos came out. And then it was like, that's when... And it's crazy that like not too many years later, the skaters started wearing the super tight jeans. Yeah. And, you know. But anyway.
What will they think of next?
What will they think of next? Comfortable pants, maybe? Something in between?
I loved Jinkos. I was a Jinko kid.
You have to get a pic so we could put it up in the episode.
See, there's not a lot of pictures of me from like once I hit like adolescence to when I got sober, because I think once in a fit of rage, my mom just like, maybe not rage, desperation, sadness,
just over it.
Yeah, like I was in rehab and I came back and she was like, "You don't own anything anymore." I just got rid of it all.
I got good news. Huh. Speaking of moms,
my
mom got a place.
Yeah, she doesn't live with you?
No, she got a place she wanted to stay in Florida. She got a cool place in Lauderdale by the Sea, right on the beach.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you've watched the show, you know that my mom got displaced because of a flood and essentially lost everything. And we had a GoFundMe put up for her. And thank you to everyone who chipped in whatever. Or even if you just shared it, whatever. Or even if you just sent a message saying, like, I hope your mom's okay. Like, really appreciate it. She found a place. And it's right where she wants to be.
Is it near Florida? Are you?
Not too far. 15 minutes.
There you go.
So now, whenever I'm out there, I could go visit my mom, go hang out at the pool with her, walk to the beach, walk to our favorite restaurants, and
your favorite zebra print Speedo as you.
I could keep up appearances there now, and but I could really do. I could la la la. So should we get to some? We got a very special guest coming in today in lieu of doing, because the rapid fire question time works when, you know, people might not watch the show and don't know that we just recycle the same 8 to 10 questions. Yeah.
But this is a special segment.
Ask the host.
For the real guests.
Ask me anything. Ask me whatever. Ask me.
I'm going with a average speed question time.
All right.
Connor Obers.
Connor Obers. That's pretty good. All right. So let's this is the person who I talk to the most at work. Definitely it's like a work bestie triangle here.
Yeah. Yes.
My worlds are colliding.
Yeah.
Same world. But Gabby Cohen, who is, what is the official title? I mean, you just kind of run everything as far as media.
Content manager is what it is at time of recording.
But so much more. So much more. Thank you for coming on, Gabby.
Wait, you're fucked
welcome.
up. You fucked up the whole thing.
Okay, let's go back. We don't edit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gabby Cohen.
Pew, pew, pew.
And then you act like you just appeared.
How did that happen?
Rocking the Jason and Joseph and music.
See, this is if you guys were just talking about whether or not, people like you, I'm wearing a shirt with your names on it.
And you were not planning to be on the show today, so I think
Your wife has been a guest on the show.
That's true.
Your kid has made animations that we have shown on our socials. Such a talented kid, that Wolf. Very, very cool stuff. Did a new one. We'll put it on there. We'll put a new one on there about makes characters, and he made one that is just turned 2 years sober. So congratulations to the cartoon character who just what's the name? Do you remember, Gabby?
Jackie, I think was the name.
Jackie is 2 years in recovery.
In my head, it was already 2 year Tom.
2 years.
2 year Tom.
That's a good one.
That's the next one.
All right, Gabby. So we're doing some questions today that you've gathered from I don't know where. What are
from
these?
your number one fans, the people who watch you all the time.
Yes.
So we've got a mix of fun ones and some deep cuts, and you guys can guess who asked which ones if you want. So why don't we start with like a relatively easy one?
Softball, yeah.
Softball, right? What does it feel like for you to record Talksicology? Like, you guys come on and do your life and tell your stories. Is it fun? Is it scary? Is it nerve-wracking? What does it feel like?
I always feel nervous going, not so much anymore, but especially when we started in this format, like when we actually started coming to the studio, I used to get really nervous and try to think of everything that I wanted to say. And then on the ride home, get really pissed that I didn't think of this. But then when you watch an episode, like when I'd go back and rewatch an episode, I'm like, it's just a conversation. Like, and then I listen to my favorite podcast and I'm like, it doesn't sound like they put that much. The work goes into like, going to school for broadcasting and knowing what to do. And like all the work's like behind me, but then it just turns into a conversation that usually comes out pretty organic in my opinion. So
yeah. I mean, for me, I'm not scared or nervous about it at all. I personally really love that we don't prep very much. And it's just kind of like, hey, let's see what happens. And it's very casual. And I think Jace, doing it with you makes it real easy, right? Because I feel like we can just kind of shoot the shit for hours.
Yeah. That's why I don't show up until 2 minutes beforehand, because I don't want to, if we sat around too much, we just have time to get nervous.
Yeah. We don't. I mean, I know we talked about at least 2 things before the show that I was like, shit.
Right.
Should have waited. But I do get, I think I've mentioned this on the show. This is the only time I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And so as we're recording, the anxiety slowly builds towards where at the end, I'm like, I turn my phone back on and
I'll usually ask Joseph, I'm like, how many missed calls or emails? Yeah. He's like 32 missed emails.
Yeah, 30 emails, 20 texts, 8 missed calls. And it's like,
Yeah. So,
but
it's funny. I was going to say, you could invite me back anytime, because it was a joy to turn it on for an hour and to know that I just got to be here.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I mean, it's a I enjoy it while I'm in it, and then as it's coming to an end, I'm like, kind of like, how at the end of a vacation, you're like, we're going to the airport.
Yeah.
We're going to the airport. I'm going back to real life.
I always get that way, like the night before the last day.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm going to start packing and start getting back to real. And then it's just anxiety starts flooding, but
it's rough. Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
All right. It was an easy one. All right, let's do another one. The best piece of recovery advice you've ever received?
This one came to me earlier today, and I was like, wow, I hadn't thought about that one in a long time. And I don't know if it's fallen out of favor, but it's the best. And it was, relapsing is a lot like peeing your pants on a really cold day.
I've done both.
You're going to feel nice and warm for just a second, but in the end, you're worse off than when you started.
Okay. I'd never heard that before, but kind of true.
But, nowadays for me, it's not necessarily about like, let me get high, right? It's, a host of other unhealthy things, right? Like, ignoring work and playing video games, or, not answering the phone and shooting a text like, I'm in a meeting when I'm not in a meeting. Or, you know what I mean? Like those unhealthy things, it's like, okay, you know what? Like I can do that, and it might make my life better for the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. But in the long term, I'm just making things worse.
For me, get out of your own way. That's the best advice, and the most simple advice that I could give myself, or that I could take in at certain points, especially in the beginning. I was like, if somebody's like, if all you do is get out of your own way for long enough, things will get better. So anytime I had the opportunity to get in my own way and chose not to, it seemed like things always turned out for the better.
Yeah.
All right. So then counter to that, what is the worst or the least helpful piece of advice that you got?
Oh man, I
got a bunch of those, man.
yeah. This is not like, Joseph and I have talked ad nauseum about my experiences at AA meetings at first, being a heroin addict. Like I just ran across the wrong people who basically sit down and shut up was like.
Oh, see, sit down and shut up was good for me.
Was it? Yeah. But I mean, in context, yes. However, like I walk in and I'm just like, hey man, listen, like, I don't know if this is the right place. I'm like dope sick. I don't know what. Sit down and shut up. And I'm just like, well, or I'll just leave and get high now.
Yeah, I can do that too. My stomach grumbled so loud. I don't know if the microphone just picked it up. But okay, so no offense to anybody, because like I believe recovery is super broad, and what works for you, and that's fucking great. And it's not my business, whatever works for you. But think through the drink, I think is garbage advice, right?
You said you don't like playing the tape all the way through.
Yeah, play the tape all the way through.
I like
hate that one. I hate don't drink or use no matter what. Like, why would I need a fucking program if I could not drink or use no matter what? Like, I don't like a lot of those. Yeah. All the ones that are kind of about like you can do a thing to stop, like for me, very much so, like the ability to not get high has to come from not me, because I don't have that ability. Now, whether that's from a higher power or from a program or from a group of people or from a series of coping skills and tools that you learn, like, I don't care. But for me, like, it's the not getting high part is not something that I can think through or white knuckle through or anything like that.
Yeah, I think I just got confused with a lot of the stuff that I was getting, because I was getting like, work the steps or die, motherfucker. But then working in AA, it's like, I have to do 30 days worth of work before I can start working the steps. So it's like, what am I supposed like? It's like, don't give me an opportunity to get fucking stuck, because I'm just gonna get stuck.
Yeah, it's like, let's move it.
Yeah.
This one comes from the famous now Wolf, and you segued this. What happens if you get hungry during an episode?
Oh,
Joseph.
Nothing. I suck it up and deal with it. This is actually the first episode that I've ever done without any nicotine.
Whoa.
Well, no. Like, I'm still vaping. I'm just
I just stopped.
Like a half clap.
Yeah, there's no nicotine during. So normally what I do, if I'm somewhere where I can't vape, I have these little pouches and I put the little pouch in my lip. And
cutting down?
Yeah.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. So this is the first, and I think nicotine is like an appetite suppressant. So that might explain well.
Well, you're gonna help me move a dresser after this, so I'll buy you lunch if you want, or a vape.
I have a vape.
I'll take a video of the first vape that he takes, and we'll see how. What is it? The red light? Like if you could do it until it blinks, a blinker. Is that what they call it? Like the big ass vape thing until you go until it starts blinking.
Oh no!
It's like a status symbol.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
A feat of strength, if you will.
If I get there's just no eating during the show. Sorry, Wolf.
It might be one of the only times that I don't think about food, to be honest with you, because I am one of those people who could graze all day long, and I think this is one of the times where I just I don't think about food. So.
See, I do though, because some of my favorite rapid fire questions that I ask are
it's
food related.
Pizza, ice cream,
versus tacos. Yeah, what kind of ice cream would you be? Yeah, that kind.
We'll stay on the food related tangent. We have a group chat that has pancakes as the emoji.
Yeah.
Wrong answers only. Why is it pancakes?
Oh, I've never thought about this. Actually, it is pancakes.
Who did you set the picture?
I didn't set the picture.
Did you, Gabby?
It was me.
Okay, wrong answers only. Why
have we all
pancakes?
worked at breakfast-oriented restaurants?
No,
Okay.
Wrong answer.
because our sense of humors are a little bit flat.
We all need to cut down on our cholesterol intake of butter.
Because I'm a short stack.
Oh my God, reasons for pancakes. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us remember, but it's there. It's good.
Yeah, there was a reason.
Right.
There was initially a reason.
There was, but it's a long time ago now.
It was a long time ago. I'm feeling nostalgic for
Yeah.
the early days of the toxicology group chat.
I will roll that right into the next one because we love a good comeback in the old days. Will the spinning wheel of songs ever make a comeback on toxicology?
Listen, I in the last week was peeing in the toilet that I recorded the flushing
At least it wasn't in your pants on
for
a
the
cold day.
video of the spinning wheel of songs. And in my brain, there once was a wheel, and I was like, "Man,
Forget about that. Yeah,
we really got to find a way to work that back in."
we do.
I love the spinning wheel of songs.
Well, I think we need to bring it back then.
Can we get a poll? I think in Spotify you can do polls
Do a
now.
poll.
Let's get a poll
Yeah.
going. Bring back the spinning wheel of sounds. Yes or no,
Or maybe.
or maybe,
Just let us know that you're there.
or we remix it and put it on the album.
Remix. Let me tell you about ADD.
Let me tell you a little something about ADD.
All right, you both speak very fondly of Austin in almost every single episode, so we all know you love where you live. But if you had to live in any other major city in the lower 48, where would it be?
Oh, does it have to be in the city?
No, I guess anywhere.
Oregon.
Oregon, I think I would be Pacific Northwest too, and maybe Seattle.
Yeah, like
Or some-
east. I'd be
yeah.
like Eastern not Eastern, Western Oregon, somewhere near the coast, but also Western Southern Oregon, near the coast, close to the redwoods.
Mhm.
Gloomy weather most of the time.
Or a place that I've only been to once but fell in love with is Mystic, Connecticut. A little seaport
Mystic.
town, yeah. Little
Ryan Spencer's hometown.
yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, I love. I don't know if I ever talked about it. I think I probably have at some point, but during COVID, about
Wait, downtown Disney. I'm a Disney
Gosh.
guy. That's right. I'm moving to downtown Disney.
during COVID, about 6 months in, we flew to Portland and drove the Pacific Highway down to San Francisco, and it was just me and Chelsea and the kids, and we didn't take any like laptops or anything like that, and we had we just it was still in the super COVID times, like masks at the airport. And we went to like a Walmart and bought groceries, and then we had a cooler in the car, and we just did Airbnbs mostly to avoid contact with humans, and we just stopped wherever we felt like stopping, and just like everything was beautiful. And I'm not a huge hippie, but like something about like being around the redwood trees especially was just like humbling in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Love that.
Very cool.
So we've been on the air for a long time now. You're well over your year, and you've been in the new format. Some people might not know, what was the inspiration that started Toxicology?
I think we're probably coming up on 2 years.
It wasn't so
Yeah,
much inspiration. It was there was a show, Dope Sick, that was on Hulu, and it was about the opioid crisis and the pill mills.
Yeah.
And we started
in
doing
a very real, non-sensationalized way too, which I really appreciate.
right. It was just like a roundtable discussion that we were doing because it was still in COVID, so we weren't able to do a lot of in-person stuff. So we would all just watch the episode And then the following day, we would just have a bunch of people from Recovery Unplugged or, people within our orbit, and we would have them on, watch the episode, and just kind of talk about it. So it evolved from there.
Yeah. And we decided, after it was initially going to be like a limited run, right? We were just doing like kind of this follow along with the series kind of thing. And then towards the end, we were just like, you know what? Let's just keep it going. And we took the best parts of that, which were me and Jason.
Oh,
and,
not the available parts.
And one thing that I think in the beginning, we were much more topic driven. Like we brought guests on and we were like, you're going to talk about trauma and you're coming on to be the guest who talks about medication assisted treatment and you're coming on. And I think we've gotten more towards like the episodes are about people.
Yeah. People's experience.
And they may have some experience with trauma or eating disorders or whatever, but we're here to talk about the person.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I think we noticed is that when we tried to come in and talk about like one subject, and I know there were times where we never even got to the subject.
Yeah.
And then just kind of figured like, hey, let's just have real conversations with people who we may or may not know, and hopefully we'll all learn a little something.
Oh yeah, we used to get questions. Shout out Dominic Nikosha. He would give us like 8 bullet point questions, and the guest would get them, and we'd be like, "This is the plan." And
Dominic's a fucking slave driver.
And then we'd find like we'd have like 5 minutes left in the episode, and we'd be on like the third question, sort of.
Right. Yeah. So that we've evolved into just like letting it flow.
Yeah.
Do you like it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot less anxiety going into it because I'm like, I know I'm going to forget this. And I usually don't like wearing my glasses on. And I'm like, I'm going to have to, if I want to read something, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. And it's going to be this whole thing. And
The pressure of live is off now too, right?
pressure of live is off. Right.
I don't mind the live.
I didn't mind
I
the
didn't mind the
live
live because
either.
we would run the Facebook feed. I actually loved that.
Yeah.
We would run it on a Facebook feed, and so we could get comments in real time.
I do miss that.
Yeah.
The live.
Yeah. Shout out Davy Jones.
And my mom.
Yeah. Jason's mom, Sibby. Sibby T was a top fan back in the day.
Yeah. Some
Jason.
gained, some losses.
Oh, Jason.
That's right.
This was
Jason,
just for you.
favorite Simpsons quote.
Favorite Simpsons quote: "Stupid babies need the most attention."
Oh no.
That could be one of them.
That's good. Joseph, how much Topo Chico is in your fridge right now?
Oh, well, let me tell you. So at Costco the other day, they have a new Topo Chico product. And now some of the new Topo Chico things have been kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like the orange flavored one wasn't my favorite. But it was a 3-pack of canned like 12-ounce Topo Chicos, which were like classy flavor combinations. So there was like a
Like
ginger.
dragon fruit or something.
No, like a ginger orange, a blueberry something,
Get out of here with that.
and a lime something.
I don't want
lime
any of
and
that.
mint. And the lime one's okay. The blueberry pomegranate or whatever it is, the blueberry one has become my go-to. If my wife is having a nightcap, I get a little fancy glass and I put in that Topo Chico, and then I put some like sweetened lime, other things from the bar
Okay.
carts that
Yeah,
aren't
yeah, yeah.
alcohol, and make a little mocktail. Also, shout out ACL. They had a whole fucking mocktail trailer.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was called Bar None, and they had mocktails because sober people want to pay for overpriced drinks too.
Exactly. I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, I want to feel special, paying $15 for my
Yeah.
drink. And I never got to try it because the line was too long the whole time, which I thought was kind of cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
But see, unlike alcoholism or alcohol drinking, your day isn't ruined if you can't go ahead and get
Oh, yeah,
a
no, it's
mocktail.
fine.
It's just like, okay. I'll get
Water.
water.
Water. It's fine. What was the question?
I love it.
Let me tell you a little something about
Topo,
ADHD.
yeah, Topo Chico. How many Topo Chicos in your fridge?
It was
Oh, so how
is in your
much?
fridge?
Okay, so I've got 3 cases of those. Like I got I'd probably 2 or 3 of each of those flavors. I've got the classic size normal flavor ones, and then I've got some of the big boys of the lime ones. It's most of a shelf. Most of a shelf.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Not the most Topo Chico I've ever
had. But not the least.
Would you have an entire fridge just of Topo Chico? Like, would you?
A little one. Not a full size.
I don't know if Topo Chico sponsors podcasts or not. However, I could see a big space right there where we could have a nice Topo Chico
like instead of the mouth-eating pills, it could just be Topo Chico logos. Yeah.
Right.
Do you know why it's called Topo Chico? So just outside of Monterrey, in the state of Nuevo León, in Mexico, there's these 2 mountains that are very like dome-like, right? And so the word topo means bump, a little hill, a little bump, right? And there's a small one and a big one. So there's the Topo Grande and the Topo Chico.
Oh, okay.
And that is where the spring is, where they bottle the Topo Chico from.
Magic. Mexican magic.
I lost count of how many we have. Do you want more?
Yeah. Let's
do a couple more. Yeah,
2 more.
2 more. Yeah.
Okay, 2 more. All right, this one is a little bit more of a deeper cut. So, we talk a lot about like accessibility to treatment, right? Making treatment accessible, but like accessibility to recovery. How do you feel like that factors in? You just talked about how mocktails are also expensive.
Yeah.
Like what the ability to pay and for treatment, for continuing treatment, life beyond. How do you feel like that factors into sobriety and recovery?
All right. Okay. So treatment is not a necessity for recovery, right? People do get sober without going to treatment, right? But that is, a pretty low statistic of folks who are able to get it without going to treatment, right? But without getting political, right? As long as our healthcare system is governed by for-profit insurance companies, treatment is going to remain hard to access. I mean, people with private insurance who work for big companies that have decent healthcare plans still very often find themselves unable to afford the deductibles, copays, et cetera, that come along with trying to get treatment. And even when they do have that money, right, the insurance company's whole game is to find reasons to deny the coverage, right? Because for them, it's viewed as a controllable cost, right? If you need a heart transplant that's going to cost $500,000, right? There are very specific measurable symptoms that the doctors can document to force them to pay. Whereas with treatment and mental health, right, there's so much that's subjective, right? Even when a client comes and says like, hey, I've been shooting 6 grams of heroin a day for the past 6 years, right? We don't really have proof of that. Right? We have proof it's in your system right now. If we drug test you, that just means that you've done heroin in the last 3 days, right? So the insurance companies look for all these reasons to not pay for it. So the access to treatment, like even if the government had a ton of money to pay to just like have free treatment accessible to people, like there needs to be reform to the for-profit insurance model.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally. All right, last one we'll do. You'll each gets to answer. If the other host was an animal, what would they be?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You go first.
You would be a bear.
A bear?
But like, not a bear cub, but not a grown-up bear, like an adolescent bear. An adolescent black bear with like a little brown snout.
I've been called a Build-A-Bear for a long time. People have told me that I look like a Build-A-Bear.
But specifically the adolescent bear. So like, it's bigger than a cub. It almost looks like a lean adult bear. Like it still hasn't put on like I don't know how to explain it, but you'd be a
adolescent bear. Okay. I would say Joseph is as sure-footed and confident as a mountain lion.
People told me I look like Tigger.
I see it now. Yeah.
From Winnie the Pooh before, yeah. Yeah. Cause I'm just a teenage bear, Jason.
Jason the teenage bear and Joseph the mountain lion.
Listen to obscure music, baby, with me.
We always like to close with the song. Well,
That's
Gabby,
perfect. That's gonna be the remix.
we appreciate you coming on, Gabby. You're always Gabby's always behind the scenes, the foundation that holds us together. So appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for gathering up the questions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Gabby, for taking the time, for scrambling to help us out and making sure that we don't just trail off into nothingness in this conversation.
It would be me and you just showing videos to each other back and forth.
We would have
Apparently.
we would have gotten stuck on the memes. Yeah. Free Shabakadu. So thanks, Gabby, for everything you do. Thank you to you, our loyal listeners, whether you're watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on listening to the podcast, Spotify, all the things.
All the things.
Wherever you are, don't forget to like, follow, share, tell your friends. I hope at this point we've done enough that like somebody who's suffering might find some solace from our show, or someone who's struggling might want to recommend our show to like a loved one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a mom telling her kid, like,
have a chuckle. Listen to these
listen
guys.
to these
They
guys.
got through it.
yeah, they can get sober.
Anyway.
So can you. Also, if you like Gabby's shirt that she's wearing, it's available on our shop website,
theempoweredshop.com.
theempoweredshop.com.
Yeah. That's a shop with a PPE to make it easy to remember.
Shoppy. Shoppy. Shop with a PPP. Shop with a PP. All right. So don't forget to like, follow, share. And as we like to say here on Toxicology, there's 1,000 ways in and 1,000 ways out. And we hope you find yours.